Eyes. Okay, that's good enough for an intro. No, but seriously, is there like a correlation between sick anime powers and eyeballs? Because there are so many series with characters that'll just rock you by looking at you. Like, look at this dude. Okay, honestly, it looks like a lot of weak points, but cool powers and eyes go hand in hand. So in this video, I'm gonna give 10 or more, who's counting, of the coolest eye-related powers in anime. And I'm going to miss a lot. So if you want a part 2, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so I'm not really ranking these powers, but I split them into categories to make it easier for me. So the first category is God level eyes. You know what I'm talking about, the eyes that everybody knows. Even if you don't watch anime, you have seen these eyes somewhere, probably on someone's car with a sticker. But let's get right into it. Hunter x Hunter has a lot of interesting and complex powers, but one of the strongest, totally not biased because he's one of my favorite characters, is Kurapika's Emperor Time. Some backstory: Kurapika is the last surviving member of the Kurta clan, a clan famed for the deep scarlet eyes that appear with heightened emotions. These eyes are the important part we need to focus on. When Kurapika learned Nen, his eyes became a powerful asset. Long story short, there are 6 types of Nen: Enhancement, which strengthens the user or objects; Transmutation, which changes the aura itself; Emission, detaches aura from the body; Manipulation, controls animate and inanimate objects; Conjuration, creates objects; and Specialization has their own unique abilities. Okay, goodness, I need to learn how to breathe, but I listed that all out to say Kurapika is a conjurer making those chains out of Nen. But when his eyes turn scarlet, Emperor Time begins and he becomes a specialist. Changing his type is cool, but Kurapika's new power is insane. Kurapika can now use all Nen types with 100% efficiency. Yes, all of them. It's important to clear something up though. 100% efficiency does not mean 100% strength. You can look at it through 3 different categories: level, force, and accuracy. With Emperor Time, the force and accuracy goes up to 100%, but the level stays the same. So if Kurapika is a green belt in the emission type of Nen, when he uses Emperor Time, that doesn't automatically make him a black belt, but it makes him the strongest green belt. Like, does that make sense? It's a good ability, but there is a huge drawback. For every second that Emperor Time is active, an hour is taken off of Kurapika's life. So half a minute of this power is already 1 day gone in your life. Even though it's strong, it's not a complete game changer. So a crafty or just an overwhelmingly strong opponent can cause problems, making the battle longer, depleting his life force even more. But good eyes. Okay, hear me out. This next eye power is really strong inverse, and I feel like its strength is often overlooked. Erasure from My Hero Academia. Compared to other shonen, My Hero is sometimes seen as a silly or non-serious series because of the Western comics inspiration. But Erasure is a powerful ability that with verse equalization could cause some major issues with other characters. Okay, I should probably get to explaining, huh? Erasure is very simple. Whoever the user looks at, the quirk is disabled until the user blinks and activates it again. So if you're really good at staring contests, you just turn off the opponent's main power source long enough for you to hit them with that Yuji Itadori special. There are some limitations though. The user needs to see the person's main body for Erasure to work. So being obstructed by fog or like a wall means it won't work. Plus, Erasure doesn't work on mutant type quirks. What? That means nothing to you? Alright, get your pencils out because Professor All Fiction is here. You can tell because of the glasses. So, there are 4 different types of quirks: emitter, transformation, accumulation, and yes, mutation. Since this isn't a My Hero Academia video, I'll explain the other types a different day. But mutation quirks permanently change the user's body, making a rabbit-like person or having air holes in your feet to jet around. Erasure can't disable a full person, meaning that characters like Froppy are unaffected. Side note, mutant type quirks are actually pretty strong because they have multiple abilities wrapped in one. Sure, Aoyama can shoot a laser beam, that's not even light speed. Like, look at this image right here, it's moving the same speed as Sero's tape. So are you trying to tell me that tape is light speed? Okay, sorry, not important. But Froppy can breathe in the water, turn invisible, create a toxic mucus, jump incredibly high. So yeah, she has a lot going for her that isn't disrupted by Erasure. Now, these are the most immaculate eyes in all of anime. You already know what I'm about to say. The 6 eyes from Jujutsu Kaisen. Oh, we love Gojo over here, except for the people who don't. Usually that's how it works. But these eyes turn the user into an unstoppable force. Before I start explaining them, I want you to remember that the 6 eyes are innate abilities, meaning that they are always active. So these baby blues give the user immense perception and visual senses, being able to see a flow of cursed energy and even see when their eyes are covered. The users of Six Eyes have such precise control over their own cursed energy that they basically lose 0 energy when they're using their techniques, meaning they can fight forever. And the negatives aren't that bad. If the user keeps their eyes exposed and not covered after a while, the visual stimulus gets overwhelming and tires them out. Like, that's like me going out in the sun for too long. That's not even a downside. Okay, it's time for the eye swapping shenanigans that is Naruto. God, they love playing hot potato with these things. So, the Sharingan. You knew it was coming, come on now. The Sharingan is probably the most popular thing in Naruto behind the Rasengan and Sekshi Jutsu. Or is that just me? There is a lot of history behind this eye, but we don't have enough time for that. Basically, God, yes, God. Remember when this show was about ninjas? Yeah, me too. So, God ate a devil fruit and was the first one to get chakra and this weird Rinne Sharingan in her forehead eye. Sounds like something familiar, doesn't it? Later, she had a grandson, Sasuke. Well, he's not Sasuke, but he's Sasuke, who was tricked by black African American Zetsu that his brother, not Naruto, was in danger to unlock the first showing of the Sharingan. I simplified it a lot, and you can already tell how weird it gets. But back on track, apparently Black Zetsu knew how good these eyes were because the Sharingan is crazy. It can see the flow of chakra, kinda like the Six Eyes, and gives the user enhanced vision, allowing them to read lips and even mimic hand signs. Most notably, it can copy any jutsu with near perfection, depending on the user's chakra nature and whatnot. The Sharingan can also hypnotize people, able to perform genjutsu, reveal information and memories, and control a target's action. I can stop right there, but why not bring in the Rinnegan? I got some time on my hands. So, the Rinnegan is basically an evolved Sharingan. Just level it up to level 36, kill a few people, and implant the chakra from the original owner of the Rinnegan into your body or be a reincarnation of them, and you're good to go. The Rinnegan has multiple abilities. It can control the forces of attraction and repulsion with the Diva path. Also, I haven't watched this anime in a long time, I'm gonna mispronounce all of these things. Mechanically change the body with the Ashura path, extract souls with the human path, summon creatures with the fitting animal path, absorb chakra with the Preta path, revive the dead with the outer path, and summon the King of Hell with the Naraka path. The King of Hell is a crazy thing to just name drop, but it's an overcomplicated lie detector that sucks out your soul, not in a good way, to determine if you're telling the truth, and it can repair any damage. Apparently there are some additional abilities that are specific to the user, like how Madara can use Limbo clones and Sasuke can spam his favorite move of switching places back and forth. The last one in this category is Geass. Geasses? I'm not sure the plural form, but Geass from Code Geass. There are millions of different Geass abilities when including both canon and non-canon storylines, too many to talk about here. New video idea? Maybe. But let's talk about the main character, Lelouch's Geass, the power of absolute obedience. This power can give commands directly into a person's mind after making eye contact. Do I even have to explain why this is so strong? Any command? In your brain? Come on, now you just found the best power on this list. Lelouch's Geass can't affect the same person twice, but there doesn't seem to be a time limit on the command. So between you and me, since no one is listening, I'm going to command like a random 100 people that I don't even know to give me $5 every Monday. Also, if giving commands isn't something you want to do for some reason, here's a list of some other Geass abilities. You can hear people's thoughts, control people's bodies, alter memories, stop a person's perception of time, make people fall in love with you, transfer your spirit, make illusions, disguise yourself. So yeah, there's a lot of options you can choose from. But downside, it has like a 90% chance to drive you crazy. Like everyone went crazy when they have a Geass, I don't understand that. But that's a small price to pay with these epic powers. Okay, we're finally onto our next category. They're good, I guess. Like having these eyes are better than having basic boring eyes, but sometimes their negatives outweigh their positives or they're just kind of boring. You'll see what I mean. The first one we have is the all-seeing eyes of God from Blood Blockade Battlefront. And my God, pun intended, What an epic name for this power, so it must be insane. Well, okay, so the Eyes of God gives the user an heightened visual senses, allowing them to see fast-moving objects that normal people can't, see through illusions, and see people's auras, and somehow their name? I don't even know how that works, but yeah. Overusing these eyes can cause them to crack and get damaged. Luckily, they do have some self-healing abilities, so after a while they'll go back to normal. But if they are used too much without a break, they will explode, killing the users. Yeah, these eyes just make you eye more, do you know what I mean? It just changes the user's perspective. It doesn't do really much besides that. Plus, in order to even get these eyes, the person closest to the user has their vision taken away. Yes, the main character's sister is blind now because he has his eyes. Leo, the main user of all-seeing eyes in the series, has a huge target on his back throughout the whole series, getting kidnapped every other episode, and even... Wait, do I need to give out a spoiler alert? The anime is 8 years old, so no, I think I'm good. But his own girlfriend attacked him for the eyes, so yeah, they're good, I guess? Next is Foresight from My Hero Academia. I know it's a repeat anime, but I want to love this power so much because Future Sight. But it's so restricting that it goes in this category. As I hinted at just a second ago, Foresight allows the user to see the future. Not in a cool, broad, multiple different multiverse kind of thing, no, it's a more specific, targeted ability. You see, in order to activate Foresight, the user needs to make physical contact as well as direct eye contact with the target. Once that is done, the user can see the future of the target in a third-person point of view, kind of like a flashback where you can see the person and some of their surroundings. The power can see years into that person's future, but the further in time the user tries to see, the more unclear the timeline is. Do I even need to explain why this isn't that good? Besides the fact that the user has to get close enough to the point to touch them, and at that point I would just get decimated by anyone in My Hero. They also have to make eye contact with them. Plus, the ability has a 24-hour recharge time, meaning that you can only use the ability once a day or one person. That is super limiting. But it does allow you to see the future and see your opponent's moves, so it's kinda good, I guess? Plunder from Charlotte is actually a pretty strong power in verse, so it might be a bit strange for it to be in this category, but hear me out. So Plunder allows the user to take over anyone's body for a few seconds after looking at the target. The user's main body goes unconscious while controlling the target. This in itself is pretty cool. Control over another person's body is useful and kinda strong, but there's more to it. If that person being controlled has a power of their own, after the few seconds of possession, the user goes back to their original body with a new power. That's right, Plunder steals the power of whoever it's used on and gives it to the user. The original owner now is powerless. If you're in this series, you just won the power lottery. But the elephant in the room, why is it in this category specifically? Yeah, after using the ability on multiple different people with multiple different powers, it makes you a little crazy. Okay, well, not a little crazy, more like trying to take over the world crazy, never sleeping crazy, hearing voices crazy, maybe a lot crazy. And to top it off, the powers in this series only last during puberty. So after you finish growing and all that, no more powers. So you just lost your sanity and you don't even get to keep the power forever. So I guess it's good. Heavy emphasis on I guess. Alright, I'm picking an ability that I know most people don't even remember. Koketsu Arrow from Demon Slayer. I know, a reach. Already starting on a gross note, but you see those eyes on his hands? That is the source of his power. But like, how does he pick stuff up? Ew, does dirt always get in his eyes? Ugh. But, focusing on this, by blinking these hand eyes, the user can create and control arrows that send people flying in different directions depending on where they're pointing. Not a bad power. It has enough strength to potentially pull apart a person, but in order to get this ability, you need to become a demon first. Meaning, in this Demon Slayer verse, I will definitely die sooner than later. Plus, the gross blinking hands are not really doing it for me. It seems like a lot of work just to get a Mario Kart speed boost as a power, honestly. The final eye thing for this long video is very straightforward. Shinigami eyes from Death Note. Which, let me say, in the Death Note world, you're either a normal person or the harbinger of death. There's like no in between for these people. So, these Shinigami eyes allow the user to see the name and lifespan of anyone you look at, which paired with the Death Note is insanely powerful. but by itself, no, not good at all. And you too can get this power for the low price of half your remaining lifespan. Half of it. I don't have a hit list or anything, so these eyes are useless to me, but they're here because in verse they are incredibly strong. Just might be a bit too much of a cost just to know someone's name, yeah? So, that's the end of this video. I am back to making a long content, which I kind of love actually. But which eye power did you like the most? I know there are still more I have to cover. There's actually a whole anime series about kids with different eye related abilities. So if there's anyone want me to talk about and go in depth about, let me know in the comments down below. Alright, peace.